Good morning students, welcome back to the new video. Continuing our chapter number 8, air, and this is part 4. First 3 parts we have covered, you can see. Okay, so today's contents that we are going to discuss are change in mass on burning in air, that is on page number 77. So by this topic, what we are going to understand that change in mass on burning in air. Simple, we have to understand that when a substance is going to burn, okay, then we are taking a substance and when we are burning that substance, so the mass will be different. The mass of the starting material will be different and the mass of the burning material will be different. So which mass will be greater? The mass of the burning material would be greater than mass of the starting material. So by this topic, it is able to clear this only. When a substance burns in air, it combines with oxygen. Hence, the mass of the product must be greater than that of the substance which burns. So by this experiment, this is the experiment to show that magnesium gains mass on burning. So in this experiment we are going to discuss that mass of the burnt product is greater than the mass of the starting material. Mass of burnt product would be greater than mass of starting material. So look into this experiment. So in this experiment what we are taking? We are taking a clean and dry porcelain crucible with a lead. See this experiment, okay? Place about 1 gram of clean magnesium ribbon in the crucible and weigh it. After that what we have done? We have put it 1 gram of clean magnesium ribbon in that crucible and then after that we weigh it. Heat the crucible with a lead slowly with a Bunsen flame. After that, start heating. Magnesium burns in air with a dazzling light. Hold the lid with a pair of tongs in such a way that neither is the air supply stopped nor any particles lost. When the burning is complete, cool that and its contents and then after that weigh. So what we will see? We will see there are two masses. Mass of the crucible plus lid plus magnesium ribbon before burning that magnesium. It would be a gram. Suppose a gram. This is of a gram. Okay. Then second mass would be mass of crucible plus lead plus burnt product. That is of B gram. This is a burnt product. So what we will find? That B is greater than A. Mass of the burnt product will be greater than mass of the starting material. So thus the magnesium gains mass on burning. So clear this experiment? Okay. Now come to next topic, that is rusting. We all know what is rusting. In Hindi we call it as jung lagna. Okay. So what is rusting? Obviously we know that it is a jung lagna. In Hindi we know the slow conversion of iron into reddish brown hydrated iron oxide by the action of moist air is known as rusting. So what is the formula of rusting? Fe2O3.XH2O. Fe is iron. When iron is coming into the contact of oxygen and water molecules, rusting occurs. And what is this X? This is the number of water molecules. That is why we denoted it as X. In rust, the number of water molecules it is not fixed. That's why here we are writing is X. Recall that rusting effect is assisted by the presence of impurities in the metal and salts and acidic gases in the air. So clear everybody? Rusting is slow oxidation, converting of iron into reddish brown hydrated, that is iron oxide by the action of moist air is known as rusting. Now next topic, that is comparison between burning and rusting. So there is a table 8.3. Here points are written. burning and rusting. Let us quick recall this. Burning is the first fast reaction. Obviously, burning is a fast reaction, no? When we burn something, it burns quickly. Takes place at high temperature, whereas rusting is a slow reaction taking place at ordinary temperature. Second, burning requires only oxygen apart from the combustible substance, whereas rusting requires moisture too. Third, the residue after burning does not contain the elements of air, whereas rust does. So these are the points of burning and rusting. So here what you will do, you will draw this table 8.3 in your notebook. Okay. Now next topic, that is test for oxygen. How we are able to know that it is a oxygen gas or not. So this is a test for oxygen. What it will see? A glowing splinter burns brightly in oxygen. When we are taking a glowing splinter, it will burn when there is a oxygen. So what we will do, we will insert a glowing splinter into a conical flask containing manganese dioxide and hydrogen peroxide. The oxygen produced by the reaction will cause the splinter to burn brightly. If it is burning, that means it contains oxygen. So this is a test for oxygen. So remember that a glowing splinter burns brightly in oxygen. If it is not burning, that means oxygen is not present. Clear? Now, last topic of this video is uses of oxygen. Some uses we all are aware that oxygen is used for respiration process. Common use? No. So some of the uses are there. First, all combustion process requires oxygen, which is usually derived from air. Second, it is required for respiration. We all know oxygen burns food into our body to liberate energy. And what is the reaction of respiration? Glucose plus oxygen, and what it gives? It gives carbon dioxide, water and energy. It liberates energy. Third, oxygen is given to patients suffering from respiratory problems due to heart attacks, asthma, pneumonia, smoke, inhalation, etc. Fourth, deep sea divers carry a mixture of oxygen and helium for respiration. See, this is a figure also, it is given here. Where had they carried air instead, the nitrogen present in it would have dissolved in their blood under the high pressure in the depth of the sea. When the divers returned to the surface, the nitrogen would have come out of solution forming bubbles. The nitrogen bubbles could form in the bones, muscles, brain, etc., causing pain, paralysis, or even death. So that's why these deep sea divers cannot carry a nitrogen, they carry a oxygen. Okay. Next, an oxyacetylene torch is used for cutting and welding metals. So oxyacetylene, here it is using oxygen also, no? Oxyacetylene, that means oxygen plus acetylene. In such a torch, a mixture of oxygen and acetylene is burned to produce a high temperature flame. Next, large amounts of oxygen are used in iron and steel industry for various purposes. The last is oxygen is used in large amounts in the manufacture of sulfuric and nitric acid. See, in sulfuric acid, H2SO4, oxygen is used in, yes, and nitric acid, HNO3. So, oxygen is used in large amounts in the manufacture of sulfuric and nitric acid. And the last use, rockets carry liquid oxygen or some other source of oxygen for the combustion of fuels. So, these are the uses of oxygen. Okay, so how many uses are there? 8 uses of oxygen are there. So, your homework is, what you will do, you will make the notes about related topics and will draw table 8.3. Thank you, students.